Okay, picture this. What if you woke up one morning and you just weren't human anymore? That is the absolutely terrifying idea at the heart of Franz Kafka's masterpiece, The Metamorphosis. We're going to dive into the strange, unsettling story of Gregor Samsa, a man who wakes up as a monstrous insect.
And this all comes from the mind of Franz Kafka, an author who was, famous for creating these nightmarish worlds. His characters are often trapped in situations that make no sense, governed by bizarre rules and a kind of soul-crushing bureaucracy. It creates this deep feeling of alienation, and honestly, no story captures that feeling quite like The Metamorphosis.
And Kafka does not mess around. That's the first sentence. Boom! Just like that, we are thrown headfirst into the nightmare right alongside Gregor. There's no build-up, no magical spell, nothing. Just the sudden, horrifying reality that he is now a bug.
So what do you do when you become a giant bug? I mean, seriously. Our first section here is all about that monstrous awakening, where this impossible, unbelievable physical change slams right into the most normal, everyday human worries.
And Kafka really makes you feel this physical horror. Gregor looks down and sees this armor-hard back, this big, brown, domed abdomen, and all these legs. So many legs, and they're just flickering uselessly in front of him. He calls them pitifully thin. Right away, he's a prisoner in a body that isn't his.
But here's where it gets truly bizarre. The disconnect is just incredible. Instead of screaming or panicking, what's Gregor's first thought? His job. He's a traveling salesman and he's worried he's missed the 5 o'clock train. His mind is completely, totally human, stuck on his anxieties about work and his parents' debt, all while he's trapped in this monstrous shell.
In his first real challenge, it perfectly sums up his entire new predicament. Something he's done every single day of his life, something so simple, getting out of bed, is now this monumental, almost impossible task.
Just think about it. He tries to roll onto his side like he always does, but his new, rounded back just makes him roll right back over. He tries to use his legs, but they're just a chaotic mess moving on their own. Finally, he just hurls himself forward, but he gets the direction wrong and slams hard into the bedpost. Every single movement is now a painful, clumsy struggle.
All right, so up to now, this has been Gregor's private horror. But that's all about to change. The outside world is literally knocking at his door, and his real isolation is about to begin.
The first voice he hears belongs to his sister, Gret. And you can just hear the mix of concern and, rising confusion in her voice. The family knows something's off, but they have no idea. Not yet.
Then his manager shows up, demanding to know why he's late. Gregor tries to answer, to explain, but what comes out is just this awful squeaking sound. And the manager's reaction? It's immediate, it's absolute. That was an animal's voice. No question, just judgment.
And then comes the moment of truth. He gets the door open and his mother sees him. She just collapses, screaming. It's not just fear in that scream, it's this complete and total rejection of what's standing in front of her.
But his father's reaction is different. It's not terror, it's pure violence. He grabs a cane and a newspaper and literally shoves and beats Gregor back into the room, injuring him. The door slams shut, and that's it. His confinement is official.
In this moment, it reveals a huge shift. See, before all this, Gregor's father was this old, feeble man, always exhausted. But now, with Gregor helpless, his father is energized. He stands up straight, he gets a job, he wears this crisp uniform. He becomes this aggressive, powerful figure. It's like Gregor's weakness literally becomes his father's strength.
So Gregor's locked away. This next part of the story really explores how that life in confinement just leads to this slow, painful decay of his family bonds and really of himself.
His physical change just keeps going. Milk used to be his favorite drink. Now, the smell of it makes him sick. Instead, he starts craving garbage, literally rotting food. His sister starts leaving him scraps of old cheese and vegetables, and he devours them. With every meal, he's becoming less and less human.
But that human mind, it's still in there, and it's fighting. His sister and mother decide to clear out his room to give him more space to crawl around, but he panics. He desperately presses his new body against this one framed picture on the wall, a picture of a woman in fur. It's this one last symbol of his past, of beauty, of human desire. It's the one piece of his old life he absolutely refuses to let go of.
And this desperate act to hold on to his humanity? It leads to the most brutal betrayal in the whole story. His father comes home, completely misunderstands the situation, and just starts attacking him.
by throwing apples at him. One of them hits him hard and gets lodged deep in his back. It's this festering, awful wound that no one ever removes, a physical symbol of his family's final violent rejection.
That injury? It's really the beginning of the end. Now, weak and in pain, the family is about to make one last chilling decision about the thing living in that room.
One evening, his sister Gret starts playing the violin for some boarders they've taken in. And the music is so beautiful, it touches something deep inside Gregor, something that's still human. He's so moved that he crawls out of his room almost in a trance, hoping maybe, just maybe, if they see him appreciating art, they'll remember he's more than just a pest.
Well, it has the exact opposite effect. And it's Greta, the one who cared for him the most, who delivers the final blow. She looks at him and says, "We must try to get rid of it." She won't even say his name anymore. He's not her brother. He is an it, a monster that has to be thrown out. His dehumanization is now absolute.
And hearing those words from her, something inside Gregor just breaks. He completely accepts their judgment. He agrees with them. He crawls back to his room, filled with this weird sense of love for them, and he understands, for them to live, he has to be gone.
And so he does. Gregor dies quietly during the night. Our final section here looks at the absolutely chilling aftermath and how the family reacts to what they see as their newfound freedom. The cleaning lady finds his body, described as completely flat and dry, and just gets rid of it. And the family's reaction? It's not grief, it's relief. Mr. Samsa literally says, "Now we can give thanks to God." They take the day off work, go for a walk, and take a tram out into the warm sun. And their thoughts turn to the future, to their daughter, and how she's grown into a beautiful young woman, and how it's time to find her a good husband. For them, Gregor's death isn't a tragedy. It's a brand new start. Which brings us to the final, haunting question of this whole story. Gregor's body, yeah, it changed overnight into an insect. But over time, his family, they transformed from loving relatives into cold, practical people who just threw away their own son. So you have to ask yourself, who really went through the most monstrous transformation here?